you guys look around here? It's looking so eerie right now, and there's like a mysterious calm to everything, because later today we should be getting some heavy rains, which is kind of ironic because just a year ago our farm got hit by some heavy rains, and the state of Vermont had some epic once-in-a-century type flooding happen. And so to see all of this happen right now, I just kind of hope everything is okay. So it looks like the cattle have put a herding on the Happy Cow Mobile. I tried to build this lighter weight and easier to move than previous incarnations. And I think if you step back and look at it from a little bit of a distance, you can see it's starting to get kind of lopsided. And I think I'm gonna need to make some improvements and repairs. Oh my gosh, you finally hatched out a duckling. But it only looks like there's one of them. Ow. Whoa, I'm sorry. I was just trying to set up a camera to watch you for a minute. And that right there is why her name is Jerk Duck. So the fact that I have a duck who just hatched a duckling on the day that we're supposed to get a flood is extremely ironic, because the same exact thing happened last year. Now, it wasn't Jerk Duck, but it was actually, I think, Jerk Duck's daughter who hatched out a handful of ducklings pretty much right at this exact same time. I made a horrible decision, arguably one of the worst decisions I've ever made as a farmer. Would you guys look what I just discovered? Hey, little ones. It's a whole little smattering of ducklings. Aren't they adorable? And there's their mom. Her name's Puddles. And whoa, would you look at this? It's a whole colony of ducklings. So for the last 36 hours or so, we have been hit really hard by the rain. I'm not seeing them. And yeah, this friggin' sucks. They were all running through here and swimming through here the other day. I'm not seeing them or their mamas around. Toby, are you trying to get my attention right over there? You know, as they started to have the forecast call for the heavy rain, I debated like taking them with me, but then I was like, it's just a little bit of rain. But then the forecast got stronger and stronger. But then I was like, oh, don't do that, because then you're gonna have to raise a whole bunch of ducklings. And the whole goal of this project was to let your ducks raise the ducklings kind of naturally out here in the permaculture orchard and see how they do. Son of a gun, wouldn't you know it? They didn't do well, and it's all my fault. Now, to this very day, I still feel horrible about what happened in that situation. And so I always try to vow to like learn my lesson and learn from my mistakes. So I have just gone and gotten my fishing net, and what you're about to see is me learning from my mistakes. It's okay, Mama, it's okay. All right, here's the little duckling. It looks like there's only one of them. And as I look at her eggs that she's got here in the nest, oh, it does. Looks like she does have a couple more that are gonna hatch. Oh shoot, this is a very delicate operation here. So I got mama, I got baby, and I got an egg that has pipped. And so what I'm going to do is move all of them into a new spot here in the hopes of being able to give the mom time to still hatch this other egg. We are supposed to be getting like crazy downpours in about an hour and a half. Ordinarily, I would advise never ever move a duckling that's in the midst of a hatch with its mom. But in this instance, I feel like it's the action that makes the most sense. I hope I'm doing the right thing here. Part of me wonders if I should actually take the duckling that's in the midst of hatching and putting it in an incubator. I do have some incubators going right now. I don't know, I could just pop it in there. Maybe it'll give it a better chance of survival. But then I have to worry about like changes to humidity and such. And so that could actually cause more problems than it helps. So now another example of me learning my lessons from last year. I actually have a couple of nurseries set up for baby birds. So like for example, you can see Lavender Brown here in the weird chicken coop with her weird little chicks. And they're set up and fully protected, and they'll be safe from the weather. Okay, so now you can see that we already have Deb and her 5 chickens and that one lone duckling that I've named Chicken. And now we're adding Jerk Duck into the mix. And in this corner right here, I'm gonna set down Jerk Duck's duckling as well as this egg. All right, Jerk Duck. You got your little corner, you got your little duckling, you got your little duck egg. I'm gonna let you guys be alone, okay? And now I'll reopen this door so that everybody can come and go as they please. Hopefully the chickens will go outside and the little duckling will stay with her mom. I could potentially kick Deb and her kids out, but I don't think they're ready. This little duckling chicken is now fully bonded to her chicken family, so I wouldn't want to just leave her alone either. Of course, she's not sitting on that egg, and so I think I'm gonna have to make the plan B of hatching out that duckling myself. I really hope this duck egg is gonna be okay. You can do it, you're gonna be able to hatch, I know it. All right, put you in here. I'll add a little bit of extra water, help with your hatch. Now there is our little one, and I really hope it's able to hatch. Sorry, Ginny Barn Cat, this is a no barn cats allowed space. You and Pablo can hang out in the barn during the flood, and you guys will be fine. All right, the rain is really starting to pick up, but I'm glad I've got everybody moved inside. Just so there's no fighting, I'm setting them up with some extra food and water. So Pablo Barn Cat, I just got a storm alert. They're saying it's gonna downpour in about 10 minutes, so enjoy this spot while you can, my old man. Oh wow, it is really coming down right about now. It's time to do the evening chores. I'm glad to see no large white farm dogs over here. Hopefully they're hanging out somewhere dry right about now. Close up shop in here. I see an Abby dog over here. You stay dry there, sweetie. What the heck is this chicken doing over here? Oh dear, that's exactly what I was afraid of. Oh no, I still have one left underneath there. Where is it? Shoot. Gotcha. All right, you're going back in with your mom. I'm locking you guys up for the night. It's only like 6:30, and this time of year I'm usually doing chores around 8:30 or 9. Rain like this feels like it makes sense. Keep them locked up for a few extra hours today. Hey, would you look at that? It's Mr. Stroby Dog. What's up, buddy? You're smart. You probably picked the best place to wait out a rainstorm. Abby Dog was sleeping under the duck house, which I don't know if is the best strategy. All right, let's feed the dogs. I was trying to wait a little bit, but I got worried about the little ones with all the downpour, so that's why I'm out here right now. Woo! All right, here's our Abby Dog portion. Here comes our Toby Dog portion. There you go, buddy. Can you guys hear that coming down? Yeah, it's pretty intense. Apologize if the camera's getting all wet. And if my audio isn't the best, it's because we've got all this crazy rain and I'm inside the hoop coop, which is, quite frankly, a very good place to be waiting. So when I made the choice earlier today to grab the little duckling and the mom and put them inside the shed, rains like this were exactly what I was afraid of. And while we've had only a couple of showers like this so far today, this definitely leaves me feeling very good about my decision to pull them from the pasture and move them in here. I do know I still have that risk of that one egg. It had picked and it had a significant risk of actually maybe having the hatch interrupted. And I know I put that little duckling's life at risk, but I feel like, especially knowing what I knew at the time and the experience I had last year, it was the best decision I could have made, even though there's a significant amount of risk that I might have just killed that duckling. I don't know. I feel like sometimes that is the hardest part about farming, is never knowing exactly the right thing to do and just going off of your experiences and your instincts and your judgment in hopes of making the best possible decision for your animals. It's really only is ever the thing you can do. So once I'm done feeding the dogs, I'm gonna go inside and go check on that little duckling that's in the midst of hatching, and I just hope everything's okay. Catching a little bit of a break in the rain. Let's go check to see how our nursery house is doing right now. Mama duck and duckling are doing good. Looks like everybody else is doing good. Things look okay in here. All right, we're gonna close this up because everybody seemed like they were very harmonious until I actually opened the door. So I think Jerk Duck being upset is my fault because she's still mad at me after what happened earlier today with me removing her from her nest with her duckling and her egg that's still hatching. I am very nervous about what I'm gonna find inside this barn. Hey, welcome to the world, little one. Aw. You look adorable. Oh, this one looks so spunky. It looks like it's a Cayuga, which is the same breed of duck that its mom is. So it's probably one of her eggs. Still just slightly not entirely out of the shell yet. So I'm just gonna let it stay in here. I think you're gonna spend the night and you'll meet your mom tomorrow, okay? So I was just about to go to bed and I noticed we just lost power in the barn. So I'm going to check it out right now and see what's going on. Holy smokes. Whoa. Holy smokes. Whoa. That is insane. Now the thing I'm really worried about is I gotta make sure the incubators have power or else I could lose those eggs and I could even lose that duckling. All right, let's see what's going on in here. So knowing that we were at risk of losing power, I did set up this battery backup here. 97, 98, okay, that's not bad. That is not a big issue. Whew, oh boy. Breathing a sigh of relief. How's our little duckling in here? Hey little duckling, you doing okay? Yeah, you look like you're fluffing up. I think you should be hopefully okay for the night. And I'm just gonna leave this thing running all night. But I hope everybody's gonna be okay in there tonight. Meanwhile, outside is crazy. Because of the shape of the house and how the house is raised slightly up, I think we should be okay. But I will say it makes me nervous. So I was just talking to my neighbor. Apparently several of our neighbors just evacuated and left. The other crazy thing that's happening is Allison was working the night shift at the emergency room at the local hospital tonight. And so on top of calling the fire department, I'm gonna call her and just tell her not to come home because there's no way she can get through our road. The entire thing is like, even just right now, like 2 or 3 feet of water. All right, let's check on the farm, make sure everybody's okay. I'm gonna point out why the buildings are designed the way they are and placed the way they are was to ensure that we would have a low risk of flooding issues. And so our shed with our birds is okay. Our large white farm dogs are hanging out underneath the duck house and they look okay. Yeah, they're fine. Weird chickens are okay. Our pond is completely full, but not overflowing yet. Just a little bit overflowing. And you can hear the happy choruses of ducks and geese far off in the distance. If you look out there, you can see them. They look pretty crazy, but we got lots of thunder and lightning going. Happy chorus of frogs though, for sure. I think Abby Dog's just a little bit tired and a little bit bored. So everybody around here is okay despite the flooding by the road. I'm not too, whoa, careful, careful, careful. I stepped in an Abby hole. So Abby has this horrible habit of digging holes and I usually can avoid them, but since it's dark, I step right into one. So as I was saying, I'm not too worried about the cattle because they're all on higher ground too. I think the one animal I'm a little bit worried about, I'm just gonna do a quick spot check, are the pigs because there is a high possibility that a portion of their habitat washed out. There's not much I can do about it right now. But oh yeah, gosh, you can see it. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, do you see that? Look at all that. That's all water from the stream that's flooded over right now. I don't see the pigs. I hope they are somewhere in here. I'm looking. Oh, I think I just saw some movement off in the bush there. I'm not gonna try to disturb them because I don't want them running around. And hopefully you'll just stay away from the water and respect it. That's a little bit worrisome. The bottom of the barn is flooded. That's not gonna be fun to clean out at all.
So just turn it to the on position.
There we go. This excavator is Alfred's pride and joy at driving his baby here. I think I did a good job. I got it out of harm's way. I was telling him it felt kind of like I was in the movie Airplane.
Surely there must be something you can do.
I'm doing everything I can. And stop calling me Shirley.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm just a really busy night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if it makes sense for me to go down.
Like, it's impossible to get in and out of Peacham right now. You should stay there. If you can get a room, you want me to try to get you one right now?
If you don't mind arranging for it.
Yeah, let me see what I can do to get it right now. Holy smokes. So after that first major surge, the rain just kept going throughout the night, and we got a few more waves of it. I'm not exactly how to continue making this video, but I'm gonna do my best here to try. This is the day after all the rains and everything you just saw. I don't know how else to put it other than it has been a pretty horrible experience here, just in terms of the weather and what the impact was. The impact of that flood and what happened, while for the state of Vermont as a whole, was so much worse for our part of the state specifically. And even like our neighborhood here in South Peacham was probably the hardest hit of it all. And it was just completely devastating. I kind of picked up and started shooting stuff as I went. And so I'm gonna just have you guys watch what happened that next morning when I woke up and had to go check on the animals and do the chores.
Whew. It was a long night last night, but it seems like the rains have passed. Some of the floodwaters have gone down. Now it's time to kind of check around and look at the damage and see what's okay and what's not. I've never seen the rain that bad here at the farm in, you know, the 8 years that we've owned this place. That was insane. Toby Dog, Abby Dog, where are you guys? Toby Dog, Abby Dog, come here. Hey Deb. Hey Deb's kids. There's Jerk Duck and Jerk Duck's little one. They seem like they're doing okay. Whoa. You see Jerk Duck just go to town on that worm? That's pretty cool. Oh, look at you two. At least you found the dry spot. Well, the pasture didn't flood, but our pond is back to being at full capacity. And even the overflow area, pretty gosh darn full. If I look out there in the back, I can see the ducks and geese. Everybody looks pretty happy and good. I'm not too worried about them. They're waterproof. Not quite as waterproof as Abby dogs, though. It's nice to see that all of those little ones are doing well. Oh no. Oh, it looks like the hoop coop sustained a little bit of damage last night. See, we had some heavy winds. You can see right up there, there's like a rip. To figure out how to patch that. It's not horrible, so we'll be able to manage it. It just sucks too. The moment you get a rip in your greenhouse plastic, it's kind of the beginning of the end. Well, here we have Pablo Barn Cat. He seems like he's no worse for wear. Good to see you, buddy. How was the storm? You just probably spent the whole time in the barn. And there, right there, is Ginny Barn Cat. So we've got both of our barn cats accounted for. The basement of the barn is a little bit flooded, but not too bad. It looks like a lot of the water actually drained out already. This whole area was underwater last night. And well, this is a really good sign. The animals I was most concerned about seem to be a-okay. Hi, pigs. How's everybody doing? Oh my gosh, their water troughs are flooded. Hang on, hang on. Back up, guys, back up. I'm gonna give you some food. There you go. Yeah, no brewer's grain today, you just get pellets. And yeah, as of last night, all of this was underwater. I mean, you can even see it. Here's all the runoff. Oh no. Seems like most of their fence got washed out. Oh no, that's not good at all. But you can see the storm surge and everything that hit yesterday. I'm gonna have to temporarily shorten the pig fence. I'm gonna give them more food, and hopefully that will keep them in one place for the morning. I guess the good thing is there wouldn't have been anywhere for the pigs to go. Holy smokes. Wow, but I feel like I'm at risk of running into quicksand right now. I think what I'm gonna have to do is cut a portion of this fence and shrink down the pig yard for a little while until the water's fully receded and I can figure out what my true situation is. Look at that. The force of the flood actually bent this T-post. I don't think the pigs are gonna go anywhere, so I'm gonna go up top and check on the cattle and the chickens, make sure they're okay, before getting back down here and repairing the fence. One of the things I'm learning about pigs is as long as they have food, they're a heck of a lot less likely to run away. Actually, it looks like the ducks and geese are pretty happy down here. When it rains like we just had, all of their swales fill up and they have little mini ponds all throughout the permaculture orchard. Well, looks like the chickens are a-okay. No need to fill their water troughs. Honestly, even the pasture isn't too wet and soggy. I'll just hook them up with some fresh food. Just some hungry chickens, is that what this is? How did my two cochins, these girls right here, get so wet? Or three cochins, I should say. Everybody else looks very, very dry. I wonder where they were sleeping. And it appears like all the cattle are right where they're supposed to be and accounted for. So that's also a very good sign. It's like Betty Rubble's getting a drink. Hey, Betty White. So I didn't even turn their water trough on this morning and it's already full. Amelia, how'd you end up on the wrong side of the fence? Everybody else is exactly where they're supposed to be. Since I'm rushing through my cow chores this morning, I'm not even gonna move their infrastructure. I'm just gonna open up this fence line. Come on, cows, fresh grass, come on. Hey, cows, come on, fresh grass, come on. All right, so now with pretty much all the animals accounted for, it seems like the pigs are the only problem. I don't have any casualties, which is a great relief. I still have some other things that I want to check on. First, I've got to convince these chickens to get out of my UTV. Get out of here. I was actually afraid the pastures were going to be way more waterlogged than they actually are, so that's also a good thing. I'm not sure if you could see it way down there, but the mama deer and her little fawn that I saw a week or two ago, or I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago, while I was mowing, just sprinted off into the bushes over there. Oh, whoa. That's crazy down there. I don't think anybody's driving down that road anytime soon. Whoa. I think I'm gonna go down a level and try to get a closer look. That is nuts down there. And so while it came to my farm and the animals, although we were hit hard and although like the space that's like directly behind me here, like if you look over here and like kind of all through here, during the storm and over that night, this was all a river. And then all of that river just basically flowed down and through here and around and then down basically kind of through our driveway and down to the street. When I think about how I was scared and how it looked pretty bad,
it was absolutely nothing compared to what was happening on the other side of the farm. So our farm has two brooks. There is Hendry's Brook, which sits on the south side and kind of runs through our cedar swamp and goes basically, I don't know, about 200 feet right behind me. And then there's the South Peacham Brook, which runs basically along the north side of our property. And there's also this road called Governor Maddox that runs on the north side of the property. And so while this part started to overflow and all the water ran down this way, Governor Maddox, the entire road turned into a river, and the devastation was horrific. This is why I'm glad I saved Alfred's excavator last night, because town's gonna need it. Most of that morning after the flood, I just drove around town a lot. I was checking in on a bunch of different neighbors, seeing who needed what, seeing who might need internet or power or water, because we still had all of those things down at our house, even though pretty much nobody in our neighborhood and many people in our town didn't have any of those things. I took my drone out and flew around the various roads around town, particularly the back roads, to check and see what was washed out and what was impassable and what needed work and what needed repairs, so I could report back to the town's road crew so that they could know how to prioritize some of the work that they had on their plate. And all in all, it was just devastating that morning, checking up on things. There was so much damage. You know, by the time I've finished editing this video and post it, it'll be after I already did a 24-hour fundraiser to try to generate funding for flood relief for folks affected in our town. And to everybody who contributed, again, I just want to say a big, big, big thank you. And everyone here in Peacham, as well as the neighboring town Barnet, really appreciate the support. But as I was driving around, I was overcome with this overwhelming sense of sadness, because after I'd moved my cattle and I'd come down from the top of the pasture, a neighbor told me some news that broke my heart. And the worst part of it all is when that first surge hit, a friend of mine was out there who's actually driving around on his side-by-side, kind of checking on things. They have a couple farms kind of back in that side as well, and just checking on neighbors. When that first kind of burst of water came through, he was caught in the middle of it. You know, he was a young guy in his early 30s. He leaves behind two kids, both under, I think, the age of 4. And it's just heartbreaking what happened there. And I don't know, it makes anything else that happened on our farm seem silly and inconsequential. It's not that the farm doesn't matter, and it does. That's not what I'm saying, but it's just when you see something with the gravity of what happened the other night, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to put your attention to anything else. But being on a farm, one of the things that I've found over the years is you don't have that luxury. Like, you can't just say, oh, I've got this issue that's taking all my mind share, I can't care about anything else, because you have these responsibilities. And these responsibilities are gonna require your attention, whether you're happy or sad, whether you're sick, whether you're grieving. It does not matter. And so, yeah, I ended up that next morning getting out here and doing the farm chores before I even learned the news of actually the final outcome of what happened that night. Hey, little guy. Welcome to the world. Whoa, hey. Okay, you can have that duckling. That's yours. And although it's been a really sad time here in Peacham, and you know, this is a community that is going to need a lot of resources and effort to help with recovery. I mean, even in the last couple of days, I feel like I've been just kind of working around here helping folks, and there's been so many other people putting so much more effort in. It's amazing. It makes you really grateful to live in such a good community. But yeah, if anybody wants to help out or support, I will, again, leave some links down below where, you know, there's a GoFundMe for relief efforts here in the town, as well as for my friend's family there. I'll leave a GoFundMe link there too, if you guys want to help out his widow and kids, it'll be down there.